This is a day that will go down in history as probably the best day in all of mankind. It's June 4th, 2025. We have our Nintendo Switch 2 here. I can't believe it's here. It's in my grubby little hands. We got the box. We secured the bag, as the kids say. I can't even wait. Like, I'm super duper excited. I haven't held a Switch 2 before. I never went to any of the experiences or anything like that, so I'm excited to see what this feels like. But first, we have to appreciate the box, obviously. On the top, we have our Nintendo logo. On the side, we have somebody holding the Switch 2 system outside. On the back, we have Nintendo Switch 2. On this side, we have it in tabletop mode with 2 of the Joy-Con 2s. And on the bottom, it shows us everything that we have included in the box, so that's kind of nice. Oh yeah, also I got the Mario Kart World digital bundle. This is just a sticker, I believe. It's just a sticker like stuck on the regular Switch box. That's kind of funny. But now that we've properly appreciated the box, what do you say let's actually look what's inside of the box? This is gonna be the best moment of my life. Not even like when my child is born or anything, just like opening the Switch 2. Wow, check this out. Okay, so I guess first off, here are the Joy-Con 2. We have our left Joy-Con 2, which is the blue one. And we also have our right Joy-Con 2, which is the red one. Wow. Our Joy-Con 2. It is significantly bigger. Left Joy-Con also feels way bigger than the Switch. These sticks are so much better. Holy cannoli. And then now we can also just take a look at the system itself. It is much bigger than the original Switch. Wowee. Here's our Nintendo Switch 2. This is where all of the power comes from. Here's a look at the top, on the side, the right side, and the bottom. It's interesting that they made the Switch 2 to where like the system itself is the color. If you get a different color Joy-Con, this is still gonna always be red. This is always gonna be blue. So it's interesting that they actually made the console color-coded to the actual Joy-Con. Underneath this top layer, we have my Mario Kart World code. Okay, it's like a scratch. I was worried that it was gonna like straight up just show the code, but it's like a scratch off, so that's good. Okay, nobody can steal my code, thank goodness. On the back, it shows you how to download said code. We have some health and safety information, very nice. And we also get an HDMI cable. This is the new HDMI cable that is faster than the original, so this is what allows us to get all that 4K 60 frames per second performance. And then we also get our Joy-Con 2 wrist straps here. This is the right one in red, and this is the left one in blue. So yeah, these have like the little feet on the bottom here so that they work better in mouse mode. So that's very interesting. We'll check that out. But that's everything on our top layer here. On the bottom here, we have... This is our Joy-Con 2 grip. Important to note that this is just a regular grip. This isn't a charging grip. So if you want the Joy-Con 2 charging grip, you'll have to order it separately. It's $40 US. We also have our AC adapter. Very important. Oh, wow. I actually forgot about this. They actually did like a regular USB-C cable situation. So the actual AC adapter is separate from the USB-C cable, which is super awesome. So here's our Nintendo branded USB-C cable for the Switch 2. I know Nintendo has said that the original Switch and the Switch 2 have different power consumption levels. So I don't know if this is like a special kind of USB-C that you have to use with the system. The brick is definitely like heavier than Nintendo's normal little USB bricks. I'm glad that it's actually just like a plug-in USB-C cable, because then if the cable breaks, you can always get a new cable rather than the whole AC adapter breaking and you have to get the whole thing again. And finally, we have the big boy Nintendo Switch 2 dock. Wowee. It's actually pretty crazy because I remember first unboxing the original Switch and the dock felt kind of like plasticky. It feels kind of like cheap, you know? This one feels a lot more like substantial. It's obviously bigger because of the Switch 2 being bigger, but you have like these nice feet on the bottom. There's like vents, USB ports on the side. There's like a little hole here for the Ethernet cable. Oh wait, holy cannoli. There's a quick start guide on the bottom here. Wowee, that's really cool. That's something Apple would do or something. That's nice. Now I will make this Switch 2 box disappear. Ta-da! I believe this just kind of pops off here in the back. So this just comes off like that. This shows where everything goes. So this is the AC adapter, HDMI out, and LAN. Now, I don't know if anybody else was curious about this, but I definitely was. I was worried that the Switch dock would scratch the Switch 2 screen like how the original Switch did, but it looks like it's a lot, I guess, like softer inside. It's not like soft, like it's not like a teddy bear soft, but like it's a softer, more like glossy finish, which hopefully helps to not scratch the screen. Also, I want to go back to these Joy-Con because it feels so crazy to be using Joy-Con that actually, you know, they don't feel super duper terrible. I still don't know if I would, you know, use these Joy-Con rather than like a regular controller, but they do feel a lot more usable than the original Joy-Con. In fact, we can take a look at my original Switch here. Here is the size difference in the Joy-Con. You know, when you actually look at it like that, it doesn't look like it's crazy bigger, but like, let me just say that actually holding them, it does feel like pretty substantially bigger. Whereas when you hold the original Joy-Con, they just kind of feel really small and like, you know, like toys kind of. I think, yeah, the biggest surprise for me right now is just the control sticks. These ones feel so much better compared to the original Joy-Con. This is what I thought the control sticks on the Joy-Con would feel when the Switch first came out in 2017. The buttons, they feel pretty much like the original Joy-Con. They're very clicky. I feel like not as clicky as the original Joy-Con. They're still very clicky. The other thing is the SL and SR buttons here. So these ones are much bigger on the Joy-Con 2. They actually feel like you can press them, whereas these ones are like, yeah, tiny little buttons here on the side. Oh, the triggers. The triggers I think are pretty much the same. Pretty much the same as the original, I would say. And then we also get the C button here, so that's kind of cool. C for cool, am I right? If we take a look at the actual Switch systems, I feel like this is where you can really tell the size comparison between the original Switch and the Switch 2. Definitely a pretty substantial size difference. But yeah, the thickness I think is about the same. I don't know if they confirmed if it's exactly the same thickness. Oh, I haven't even tried the kickstand, the new kickstand here. The original Switch, the kickstand is like one of the worst things to happen to me since my parents got divorced, but like you pop it open and then it's just like super duper flimsy. I think if I even just give it a little bit of give here, it just pops off like that. Not in a good way popping off. Really, I'm not a big fan of the original Switch kickstand. But if we take a look at the Switch 2 kickstand, there's like a little hole here. You can kind of pop this open. Whoa! That's kind of cool. I am a little bit scared of like the hinge either getting loose or straight up breaking. And then you're supposed to be able to like pull it all the way. Yeah, if you want it at a really, really crazy angle, you can do that. It's also where the micro SD card goes. Oh yeah, and then if we take a look at the top, we have all of our power button, volume, but now we have an extra USB-C port, so that's really nice. You can be using your Switch 2 in tabletop mode while also charging it. The game card slot, let me see. Okay, it pops upwards more, whereas the original Switch, it kind of popped outwards, like that. We can try popping on our Joy-Con straps just to see what it's like. So I think it goes on like this, I would guess. Wow, that was actually really cool. That was really easy. And then how do we pop this off? Oh wait, maybe we press this? Yeah, so the release button just does everything. And then it's supposed to make it easier to use in mouse mode. And then you just press the little button here on the back and it pops off. Very cool. With the Joy-Con grip. Whoa. Whoa. My first time using the magnets. That was cool. And then to get it off, you just press the buttons here on the back. Boom. And boom. I guess the last thing to do here, stick these onto the system. It's super big. I'm not used to it being this big. But that's our Switch 2, everybody. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you want to see me unbox more Nintendo stuff, check out the video below. For now, thank you so much for watching. My name is Chase, and I will see you guys again soon. Bye!